Hello, my name is Alex, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to the latest in the series of standard operating procedures checklists produced by KR DroneWorks, introducing the RC Model Aircraft SOP checklist. Like all of KR DroneWorks checklists, this one is also designed using the Air Force challenge and response format. Unlike our other checklists, however, this one is not aircraft-specific, given the numerous RC model aircraft types available. However, this more generic checklist provides the pilot the ability to enter their specific aircraft data into the sections where appropriate. This checklist still meets and exceeds Transport Canada requirements. Let me take a moment and review those requirements with you. Pilots working towards obtaining their advanced RPAS certification should pay particular attention to this next slide. CARS 901.231 states the requirements. In particular, no pilot shall operate a remotely piloted aircraft system unless the following procedures are established. Normal operating procedures that include pre-flight, takeoff, launch, approach, landing and recovery, as well as the following emergency procedures that include a control station failure, an equipment failure, a failure of the remotely piloted aircraft, a loss of the command and control link, a flyaway, and finally flight termination. Looking at item 2 of this section, you will see the manufacturer's requirements with regards to these procedures and item 3. Your requirement to review them before each flight and the requirements for the procedures to be available and reviewed by each crew member before the flight as well. It is hint time once again. The best way to meet the Transport Canada requirements is to have a written set of your procedures. And my second hint is to use them. There is nothing more frustrating to a flight reviewer than to have a candidate say they have a set checklist procedures during the knowledge question session, but then fails to brief and use them during the flight assessment section of the review. Let me again point out the word shall in the opening paragraph of the procedures section. At best, the failure to brief and use a checklist demonstrates poor airmanship and at worst may contribute to the items that lead to a review failure. I know the developer of these KR DroneWorks checklists has a bit more information to share with you.
Hello, my name is Colonel Bernie Durbach. I am the Chief Executive Officer of KR DroneWorks and the developer of this and other SOP checklists. I am also a retired Royal Canadian Air Force pilot, with 34 years of flying experience. I flew on several aircraft types, in various roles such as flight training, search and rescue, and VIP transport. I am also a Transport Canada Advanced Certified Drone Pilot, a trained drone instructor, and a certified flight reviewer, accredited with several Canadian drone flight schools. I have developed this flight review preparation program from the perspective of a flight reviewer. Alex has just introduced you to the Transport Canada requirement to establish and use a set of operational as well as emergency procedures. In the Air Force, these are known as Standard Operating Procedures or SOPs. The Air Force, as well as all other flight operations, create separate standardized checklists for each aircraft type that crews use during their flight operations. The use of these checklists ensure that nothing is left unchecked, especially items that may be critical to the flight, and that this is true for each and every flight. The drone community has been less formal in doing this, instead, leaving it up to each drone pilot to create their own set of procedural checklists. The regulations, as you have seen, only outlines the minimum required informational elements. This is one of the weakest areas I have observed while conducting flight reviews, which in some cases has led to a review failure. Yes, you can find generic checklists available on the internet. Most are what I call vanilla checklists as they strive to meet the minimum requirements outlined in the regulations. Most pilots download them and use them as is. Other pilots choose to use the checklists that are available with the purchase of certain apps. Again, for the most part, these checklists meet the minimum requirements, depending on the type of aircraft being flown. The problem is that most pilots do not take the time to modify these checklists to meet the requirements outlined in CRS 901.232. By this I mean, they fail to modify the checklist to include the manufacturer's instructions with regards to operational and emergency procedures, which is a mandatory regulatory requirement. CARS 901.3.1 and 901.23, 2. This can constitute a review failure depending upon the severity of the omission. Additionally, there is so much more that can be included in your checklists to make your flight operations go so much more smoothly. In regards to the flight review, this is especially true. In addition to the minimum requirements, you can include such items as pre-flight planning, aircraft data information and restrictions, compass, and IMU, calibration procedures, the crew IM, safe briefing, a standardized crew mission briefing format, non-critical emergency procedures, standard flyaway reporting text, Transport Canada emergency contact numbers, and incident and accident procedures and contact information. So, when the flight reviewer asks you a question, you can say, "I have that information listed in my checklist," and then go to the checklist page and read it. You are not required to memorize everything. What you do need to know is where to find and access the information quickly. KR DroneWorks checklists are excellent for day-to-day operations, flight reviews, and Transport Canada SFOC applications. On the next slide I will show you a typical table of contents, to see what is included. One last thing before I do that, as Alex stated, if you have a checklist, use it, otherwise they are useless to you and can constitute a flight review failure. As you can see from this table of contents, there is a lot of information that you will have right at your fingertips. Each checklist is available in PDF format which can be downloaded onto phones, tablets and if you prefer also downloaded into drone apps that can accept PDF files. These checklists can also be printed. It should be noted that Transport Canada recommends that pilots have a printed hard copy available in case of an electronics failure. I will give you a moment to review what is included in each checklist. As Alex mentioned, this is a generic checklist for the RC model aircraft community due to the large number of models out there. It is important that you print a copy and add your aircraft model data as required.
There you have it. For more information about these checklists and purchasing, contact KR DroneWorks at kr.droneworks@gmail.com. One last thing. If you purchase the AI-generated Advanced RPAS Flight Review Prep Program for RC model aircraft pilots, you will receive a copy of this checklist as a part of that program. For more information on this program, reach out to us at the same email address. Thanks for watching and safe flying. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see our other videos.